Here are 10 fantastic cards that synergize really well with graveyard stuff. Thean Vigil, 1 in a black enchantment. Whenever one or more artifacts and or creatures leave your graveyard during your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. This is just leave the graveyard, so it could be exiled, it could be put back onto the battlefield, it could be put in your library, and then it's got +1/+1 counter synergies, so you put this in an Abzan deck or what have you, you'll get that extra +1/+1 counter, which might feel small, but it adds up. Leia, the Blade Reforged, Spirit Warrior, 2/2 haste. When she attacks, exile the top card of your library, and you can play that card this turn. And then whenever you exile one or more cards from your library and or graveyard, you put a +1/+1 counter on her. Now, I don't have to tell you, but her first ability acts really well with her second ability. Just exiling things from your graveyard is just an extra bonus for her. So you can use collect evidence, you can use delve, you can use whatever, and that goes for any of these, and you'll be able to put counters on her and make her even bigger. And I like Strixhaven for having that kind of synergies in red. I think it's really quite cool. Amzu Swarm's Hunger, Insect Shaman. I need this for my bug deck. It's a flying menace, other insects you draw menace, yeah. But whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, you may create a 1/1 black and green insect token and then put a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal the greatest mana value among those cards. So it only triggers once per turn, but making lots and lots of big bugs, pretty cool. This is an expensive card, it's only been printed once, so be prepared to spend $10 currently on it. But it might come down in the future if it gets reprint. Rakshasa Vizir. Check out my Story of the Rakshasa video here if you haven't already. Pretty fun stuff. Whenever one or more cards are put into exile from your graveyard, put that many +1/+1 counters on Rakshasa Vizir. Again, collect evidence, delve. Of course, delve was introduced in this set. This is going to have a lot of +1/+1 counters on it if you're delving and collecting evidence and just stuff like that. Maybe you'd Rajuka Bog yourself with a big graveyard and then you just make this thing massive. This could be really fun, really cool. I think if you can find a Sultai deck that works with this, go right ahead. It's going to be awesome. All right, Desecrated Tomb. What I like about this one is that it fits in any graveyard deck, so the red and white or the black, green, or blue, whatever, any of the colors, right? Whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 1/1 bat with flying. This might not seem like much once again, but you get a 1/1 flyer for free just by taking it out of your graveyard. You get the thing, but this could trigger a bunch. It only costs 3 mana, and then it'll just happen a bunch. And I feel like it's not going to be the target of any big spells. I don't know, it might sit on a battlefield for a while if you've got that graveyard synergy going. Chalk Outline. Whenever one or more creatures leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 white and blue detective, and then investigate. So the 2/2, and that's already a bigger creature than the 1/1 bugs or the 1/1 bats, and then you also investigate as well, so you've got more card draw on top of the 2/2 creature. Really quite awesome. Insidious Roots, really cool card. Creature tokens you control have tap to add 1 of any color. That's so good. Just that alone on the card for 2 mana is fantastic. And then it also says whenever one or more creatures leave your graveyard, you create a 0/1 plant. Again, even more than you could have asked for. And then after that, you put a +1/+1 counter on each plant you control. This thing is bonkers. Holy crap. This is 2 mana and it does so much for you. Huge token synergies, huge graveyard synergies, huge plant synergies. Come on, what's not to like about this card? All right, Fuming Effigy, again a Strixhaven card. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, this deals 1 damage to each opponent. This might not seem like much at first, like once again, but every time you do that, you're going to deal 1 damage to each opponent, and you can trigger this a bunch of times. This is going to put in some work. Put in Fiery Emancipation or what have you, and you're going to be dealing lots of damage to everybody. Quintorius Field Historian. Strixhaven, yes sir. Spirits you control get +1/+0. So all of these red-white ones are spirits, and that works really well together. So you got some spirit tribal, and whenever one or more creatures leave your graveyard, you create a 3/2 red and white. Actually, it's going to come out and it's going to be a 4/2. So that's already pretty awesome. And then, yeah. Make all the spirits, make them all bigger. Quintorius could be a really cool commander. So I want to see that. There's somebody send me a deck list and I can put it together. I want to see it. And lastly, we feature Quorus on this card. Yeah, the spirit wants to divulge scrying 1 whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard. I don't need to keep saying this, but this is the last card in this in the things. And scrying 1 in a red and white deck can actually put you further ahead than you'd think, and being able to do it a bunch can be quite handy in the long run, especially in that Quorus spirit deck. So anyway, very flavorful, very good in like the long term, in terms of value. Anywho, that's what I think with all these graveyard synergy cards. Make sure you guys check out the TCGplayer affiliate link and the Milkman Proxy affiliate link down below. Use code manfredmtg or whatever the code is in the description, and make sure you guys join me next week for your weekly dose of magic.